everybody, and welcome live here for coverage of the UEFA Champions League as Weynoord will host here against FC Porto here for tonight. And Jimmy, and you are very familiar to Weynoord in your playing days, and Wales are the only Republican team left in the UEFA Champions League since Alice, the Georgington Red Devils, and also the other team, Parantos, all out in the round of 16. But could you think that this team, Weynoord, can go all the way into the final of the Champions League by July? We have a massive chance, of course, here for the game for tonight to try and really put a big stamp going into the second leg against FC Porto by the end of this game. And I think we've got a massive chance, of course, to get to the final of the UEFA Champions League. We've got to really think about one game at a time, though. I feel our aim now is to try and win tonight's game and also for next week's game to try and put us in a very good position to qualify in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League to take on either the likes of Chelsea or Liverpool in terms of our next potential games going into the semi-finals of the Champions League. But we do feel that for this team, we are capable enough to win the Champions League. We've done it before in 2019. We won against Juventus in the final in 2019. And also we did the exact same thing as Real Madrid way back in 2003. So we have got a massive, let's say, chance, obviously, to try and go all the way to the finals of the UEFA Champions League. But it all depends on who we play in these rounds to try and get into that final of the Champions League. It's still very, very tough to get to the final, though, because all these teams also involved in the quarterfinals want to be in that exact same position by July and be in the finals of the Champions League and win the whole entire thing. And FC Porto have got a lot of learning to do for themselves because last season they reached into the semi-finals of the Champions League from last season, if you remember that, Gary, when they took on Bayern Munich in the semi-finals, and unfortunately they got knocked out in the semi-finals at that season from last season's campaign. But this season they might do one step better by knocking us out of the Champions League and also doing the exact same thing to either Liverpool or Chelsea, depending on who goes through in that game. So there's a lot to play for us here, though. We can't underestimate on FC Porto's ability in this game, and I do think it'll be a very, very tricky one, I think, from now until July, if we get to the final of the Champions League, to try and get anything out of maybe winning a European title under Weynoord's name by the end of this competition. Thank you very much there, Jimmy, and now we move on to the coverage itself here at the Wearfield Stadium here for tonight, as we do have Weynoord FC, as they will take on here against FC Porto. And let's get to the game right now. Here we are for the game for tonight, as Weynoord versus FC Porto is stored here for this evening at Wearfield. And the teams look ready to come out here from the tunnel before kick-off here for this evening, as Weynoord and FC Porto both come out of the tunnel. And let's get straight now to the anthem of the Champions League before the game starts right now. And a team photo right there for Weynoord before the game kicks off underway here. The only Republican team left in the Champions League competition so far, as we have Neuer in goal, De Vuij, Van Dijk. We got Bruno Martins Adidi. We also got Mkhitaryan, Golstinho, Modric, Iniesta, Blady, and also up front Robert Lewandowski. But as for FC Porto, we also got obviously in goal Diego Costa with Pepe, the great Pepe, in defence, and also Gallardo and also Jesus Corona in that midfield for FC Porto to create hopefully more danger here for obviously Weynoord in the game away from home for FC Porto in this matchup to cause a danger with the team they've got here for tonight. So here we go, And let's get on the way right now. Weynoord versus Porto in the first leg of the Champions League begins here right now. There's Robert Lewandowski. Now Blade has a chance to score to make it 1-0, and it's gone wide. Best chance so far in the game. It looks like a foul being given slightly here from the Porto's player. I think Wendell took out Robert Lewandowski out, and he's having a go at the referee. And Robert Lewandowski was taken out by Wendell. Didn't see that, by the way. Oh, he did take him out. So it looks like here there's a free kick here for Weynoord in the matchup. So Robert Lewandowski takes it very early on in the game. And chance there for a chance to make it maybe 1-0 for Weynoord in the game here, to make it 1-0. But that's gone wide. And now goal kick here for FC Porto in the matchup so far. Within 3 minutes in the game so far. And now all the way here now to Galelo. And now Otavio. And now all the way to Wendell. Now to Otavio again. Now to Wendell. Now Galelo. Now to Otavio. And now he'll right to Wendell again. Header there from Pepe, but no. And that's going to be now a goal kick in the match. Now Manuel Neuer will take the goal kick here. Let's see what happens from this now. Obviously the goal kick here for Manuel Neuer. And let's see what we can do with it. He's now going to boot it all the way now into the centre part of the pitch. Now is all the way Oliver Torres. Now to Pepe. Now Pepe there. Now past to Oliver Torres. And now here's a chance for Galelo. Now to Pepe, the striker for Porto. Now Van Dijk won the ball back, intercept. Now here's Golstinho. Now Golstinho now looks for a pass here now to Robert Lewandowski here. Now Robert Lewandowski's a chance to score. Oh, very close. Massive chance right there for a goal there, Robert Lewandowski, to make it 1-0 to Weynoord in the game. Great option though, I've got to say there from Golstinho, but good chance for Robert Lewandowski to strike that ball right past the goalkeeper, but that's gone wide. And now it's going to be a goal kick here for Porto in the game. So goal kick, now pass short there to Pepe. And now here's Grujic. Now Grujic now to Jesus Corona. Now David Corona now. Now Bernardo Silva. And now Modric. And now here's Pepe. And now Mkhitaryan. And there you go. It's going to be now a free kick here for Porto in the matchup so far. Oliver Torres will take the free kick. And now it's all the way there to Van Dijk. Now Porto got a chance to score. Oh, it's a goal! A deflection. And it went into the back of the net. And FC Porto take the lead. And Pepe had a shot deflected off the defender of Weynoord into his own net. And now it's 1-0 to Porto in the game. A great cross in the penalty box here. There was a shot for Pepe, deflected off the leg right there of the Vuj into his own net. And now it's 1-0 here to Porto in the game here. An away goal for FC Porto. And not looking good right there for Weynoord in the matchup so far, as they're behind in this matchup in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Now Vuj crosses it in. Robert Lewandowski, save right there for the goalkeeper. It could have been a chance there for a goal for Weynoord here, and a good block there for Pepe. And now a corner here for Weynoord in the matchup. Mkhitaryan almost scored, but great defending right there for Pepe to block that away out of danger as it is. Good shot though, and a good block there for Pepe. Right in that back of Pepe hit, and that's going to be deflected off now for a corner in the matchup. And now Modric will take it. And now could be a goal here. It's a chance for a goal, but no. And there's a pass there for Jesus. And now Grujic. Now all the way to Diego Costa. Now throw there to Jesus Corona. Now here's to David Carmo. Now to Corona. Now Pepe. Now is Carano. Caramo now to a chance here for Pepe. Now Caramo. In the box here, head away from Vuj. And now here's Iniesta now for Weynoord in the matchup here. Iniesta, not long left till the end of the first half, by the way. Not long left. And now Blade. Now lost it back now to Golino now for FC Porto. Now Galeno. We've got a minute to go left of half time to go. Neuer clears it away. And it is the end of that, of the first half, ladies and gentlemen, as it ends here at half-time, as Weynoord 0, FC Porto 1 at half-time in the match. We're back here for the second half, and here we go between Weynoord and FC Porto, and let's get underway the match. And now Pepe there passes it there to Jesus Corona, and now Pepe passed there now to Galeno, now lost it back here now to Bruno Martins Adidi, now to Robert Lewandowski on the attack here now for Weynoord in the matchup. Pass there to Ketai Blade, and it's gone right there to the keeper, nice and comfortably right there to the goalie. Now throw out now from Diego Costa now to Wendell here for FC Porto. And now here's Otavio. Now Golstinho. And now Blade on the attack here for Weynoord in the matchup here. And now all the way there to Modric. In the box here for a goal maybe for Weynoord in the matchup. And now Galeno now. Now to Otavio. And now is to Guric. Now to Pepe. And now here's Jesus Corona. Now Mkhitaryan. Okay, thrown right there for Porto in the matchup here. Here's David Carmo. Header bouncing away here. Now Modric. Now here's all the way to Oliver Torres. Now Guric. Now Pepe. Could be a goal here. Good defending now from Van Dijk. And now is Blade. Now is Blade now the attack here for Weynoord in the matchup here. Now Blade. Pass through here to Modric. We've got 20 minutes by the way left of the game to go by the way. 20 minutes. And now Galeno. All the way there to Pepe. Score maybe for making 2-0. And oh, that could have been 2-0 right there for Porto. And it was a bit worrying right there for Weynoord in the matchup. Their defending was a little bit atrocious at the back there. And that could have been a chance right there to lob the goalkeeper over and score, but at least Neuer got a hand on that. And now it's going to be here a corner here for FC Porto in the game. And now Otavio right now takes the cross in the box here now for Porto. And a chance for a goal maybe! Clears away here! And Bernardo Silva clears it away. The ball was on the line. And Bernardo Silva clears it away for Weynoord in the matchup. And now Wales right now are behind by 1-0 here by FC Porto. And now here's Guric. Now Pepe. Now here's Van Dijk. And now Pepe's through. 1v1. Shot right there to the keeper there to Neuer. And he saved it nice and comfortably right there now for the team. And now here's back now to Porto again. Now Galeno. Now to Pepe. Has a chance to shoot. Good defending here. Now Iniesta. And now back again for Porto here. Now Guric now to Otavio here. Looking for a pass back to Guric again. Now Galeno. Has a chance to score, maybe. Now Pepe's through though. Chance to score here. Pass to Galeno here to goal. A massive heartbreak here for Weynoord here in the first leg of the Champions League. To have Porto bossing them here at the Weynoord Stadium this evening in the first leg of the Champions League. And Weynoord are in very big trouble now. They are massive trouble, as they're 2 goals down in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League. Great teamwork right there. A bit of 1-2 there to Ganelo, and all he had to do is tap it in an open net. A sweaty pass, in fact. And now Porto have got their reward, and they are now 2 goals in front here, away from home in the first leg. I never thought that Porto could do this here tonight, and they have though. And the game will end any minute now for full time in the matchup here in the game for Porto to guarantee a victory, and they have. A massive disappointment in the eyes for Weynoord in the first leg of the Champions League, as they lost here tonight at the Weynoord Stadium, as Weynoord 0, FC Porto 2. The official results of the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals: Man City 0, Bayern Munich 0, Arsenal 0, Benfica 1, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and Weynoord 0 and FC Porto 2 at the end of the games here for the quarter-final first leg of the UEFA Champions League. And also coming up, of course, during this weekend coming up, as we do have the RFA Kings Cup quarter-finals on Saturday, as Weynoord will be the team will be hosting against Inter Taloga to find out if Weynoord is good enough to qualify in the semi-finals of the King's Cup, and that game will be live, and the other 3 games also involved in the quarter-finals will be live on Saturday. And before wrapping up the show here tonight for this Champions League show between Weynoord and FC Porto, a massive win for Porto here for tonight away from home. They scored 2 away goals here at the Wearfield Stadium. And how disappointed are you on Weynoord, your old club you used to play for, to lose 2-0 in front of their home fans over a side from Portugal here to get the result away from home here for tonight? Well, I'd say the first things first, congratulations for FC Porto to really play a real perfect matchup against Weynoord in the matchup. Really show a lot of, let's say, real attacking flair in the matchup and made it a lot difficult in terms of our defenders trying to break through their attackers in the matchup was very, very difficult. And I thought that FC Porto really worked hard to come away from home with a great display here this evening to get those 2 goals in the first leg of the Champions League. But as for Weynoord, however, disappointment, I've got to say. Huge disappointment for them because there's a massive chance for us to try and, win the game, of course, at home in front of our supporters here for tonight to really give us a comfortable, hopefully, lead to go into FC Porto for next week to get the job done to put us through into the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. But I felt that we made it very hard for ourselves here tonight, and we were very sloppy, that we were very slow on the ball, and we gave FC Porto lots of opportunities in the game to try and get loads of goals against us in the matchup, and they got their rewards because of it, they did, and they won the match, and they have got one step closer now to try and qualify and knock us out in the Champions League if we end up not getting anything out of the result against FC Porto away from home for next Wednesday, as we have to score at least 2 goals or even 3 goals to try and guarantee a chance to try and get this game onto penalty shootout for next week, or maybe a chance to go 3 goals up away from home on Wednesday to put us in the semi-finals of the Champions League. But a massive, massive disappointment for us here to lose here at home. Second leg's obviously for next week, and there's a chance for us to try and make a comeback on aggregate to make it 2-0 or 3-0 in the game for next week. Thank you very much there, Jimmy, and that is all the coverage right here for the football here for FC Porto to really get themselves a massive away victory in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League. Could Weynoord respond back away from home at Porto and get 3 goals to try and guarantee a qualification in the semi-finals of the Champions League? But before they do play Porto for next Wednesday, they do play also on Saturday with the RFA King's Cup quarter-final last 8, as they'll be taken on against Inter Taloga away from home in that matchup 3 days from now for next Saturday, before they do play Weynoord against Porto again, but away from home in Porto for next week. But that'll be it from myself here today, Gary Walker, and also Jimmy Hansberg here in the studio on Wednesday evening, and we'll see you guys on Saturday for the King's Cup quarter-final. Good night, everyone.